Okay, we have another question. Evaluate log 8 root 2 to base 2. Log 8 root 2 to base 2, and we have option A 3.0, option B 4.5, option C 3.5, and option D 2.5. I will be solving this question using two approach to solve it. Two approach. So let me divide this into two. We use one to solve one and the other one to solve the other approach. So the first approach I'm going to use, let me bring out the equation, what we need to solve there. So we have log 8 root 2 to base 2. Now the first thing I want to do here is we have log. I'm going to take this 8 into this square root. Remember in SOD, when you're taking a number outside the square root into the square root, you're going to square that number. You'll be squaring that number. So that will now be the root of 2 times 64. 2 times 64. So that is to say that since I'm bringing in 64, so let me correct that 64. Now, so that if I'm to take the square root of 64, I'm going to have 8 that will go out, and we have our 2. So it will be the same as what we have initially. So we still have our base 2. Now, let's move on. I have log of root. Now, if you multiply 2 times 64 will give us 128. So we'll be having the square root of 128 to base 2. Now you also agree with me that log of square root of 128 can be written as 128 raised to power 1 over 2 according to indices. So our square root can be written as 1 over 2, that is to power 1 over 2. We have that. Now to base 2, we still have our base 2. Now if you have been following our videos, when we dropped some of the laws of logarithms, we brought a law that whenever it is the log that is raised to a power, the power is used to multiply the logarithm itself. So in this case now, it's the log that is raised to a power. So we are going to use this, bring this out, use this to multiply the log. So that we'll be having log 1 over 2. Okay, let me take this out and rewrite it again. So we're going to be having 1 over 2 log 128 to base 2 to base 2. Okay, so we have 1 over 2 log. Now 127 in the powers of 2 is the same as 2 raised to power 7. 2 raised to power 7, because 2 raised to power 7, by the time you express it, you still have 128 to our base 2. Okay, so I'm going to bring out this as well, because this is power of the log. I'm bringing that out. So we have 1 over 2 times 7, then times this 7 times log 2 to base 2. Let me take that here. Let me take part of it here. And that will be equals to, we have our 1 over 2 times 7. We have times 7. Now, also we have a law that when the log and the base are the same value, in this case now we have log 2 to base 2. Once they are the same value, the answer will always be 1. So log 2 to base 2 is 1. So times 1. So we multiply that. 1 over 2 times 7 times 1, we have 7 over 2. Now by the time you divide that, change that to decimal. This is an improper fraction, so change it to decimal. Thank God you are allowed to use calculator. So if you change that to decimal, you have 3.5 3.5. So we have that. Now that is the answer to our question. Remember I say we are going to solve it using two approaches. So let's look at the second approach. Now the second approach is like this. If we have that our log 8 root 2 to base 2, this is the same as having log. Now 8, you agree with me that 8 is the same as 2 raised to power 3, which is for 8, times, and root 2 is the same thing as having 2 raised to power 1 over 2 to base 2. Okay, so you can see how we simplify that, because 8 is the same as 2 raised to power 3, and root 2 is the same as 2 raised to power 1 over 2, or 2 raised to power half. Okay, we take that. Now by indices, I'm going to add this, since the powers, the base are the same, so I'm going to add up the powers. So this will be log 2 raised to power 3 plus half plus 1 over 2 plus 1 over 2 to base 2. Now I'm going to add up this and bring it out. If I do that, I'll be having log. Now if you add up that, you have 2 raised to power 7 over 3, because 3 plus half is 7 over 3. You have 7 over 2, rather 7 over 2, not 7 over 3, 7 over 2. So let's correct that quickly, because by the time we add up this, we have 7 over 2, not 7 over 3. Now to base 2, like I said, the whole of this will bring this out. So this will be 7 over 2 log 2 to base 2 to base 2 to base 2. And if you solve this out, you are going to have 7 over 2, 7 over 2, which is the same as having 3.5, 3.5, which is the same as having 3.5. So you see that why I got 7 over 2, because log 2 to base 2 is 1. So 7 over 2 times 1 will still give us 7 over 2. And by the time you change that to decimal, you have 3.5. So any of the approach that is okay and is okay by you, you can use it. Personally, I would have preferred the first one to the second one. So whichever one that is okay with you, so you can use it. It all depends on your accuracy and your speed.